Hello, I'm Andreas Chat, your tech-curious web designer, exploring the front-end, the back-end and all that jazz. First of all, I would like to thank you for all the kind feedback I received, all the likes, the comments and also the support on Patreon and buymeacoffee.com. I am so grateful. Thank you all very much. It has been an amazing experience making these videos and it seems like people find them useful too. That makes me very happy. And of course I will continue as long as it takes to figure out the internet, so this could take a while. If you're new to this channel, I want to give you a very warm welcome. Thank you for dropping by, and don't forget to subscribe. I have previously shared two video series, one about how to build a front end with Tailwind CSS and Alpine JS, and the other one how to create a web app with Django and HTMX. If you're interested in that content, you can find links in the description below. In this video series, we deploy our project to a web server and go live on the internet. This may seem quite straightforward, but there are several crucial steps involved in preparing our project for production. I will show you some completely free web hosting solutions to test our application online, and then also how to upgrade it to have a more professional website. But before we dive into the code, let's have a quick overview of the topics I will cover in this series. But before we do that, a quick shout out to my newest supporter on Patreon, Daniel. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And now back to the video.
So first we'll look into the local setup. This will involve creating environment variables to store sensitive data. Additionally, we will secure the admin login so our web app is even more protected against malicious actors. Then we will look into how to work with the Tailwind CSS locally. This will also include creating a minified CSS file for production. And finally, we will collect all the static files we're using in our project and save them in one location. In a second step, we will look into the online setup and choose free services to publish our app. We will create a GitHub account which acts as an intermediary between our local files and the web server. We will explore some options for free web server and database services and how easy they are to set up. We will set up a media server to store all the files users upload. I'm going to use Cloudinary for this. And we will also set up a free Gmail client to send users verification emails during the sign-up process, and also to be able to change the password. Finally, we will look into possible upgrades to have a more professional site to share with the world. This includes potentially upgrading the web server to a paid solution, a custom domain, a domain email, as well as using AWS. This is Amazon's Web Services, and there we have the S3 packets to store our media files. Okay, now that we have the framework, let's get started with environment variables. So what are environment variables? These are variables defined for a specific environment, like the development or the production environment. They can also be used to store sensitive data, such as encryption keys or database information. We don't want to include this data in our source code for security reasons, but we can store them in an external env file. Then the source code is committed to GitHub without this env file, and on the web server we include them again as part of the production environment. Okay, now let's create our variables. So first let's make sure our virtual environment is activated. Source vnv/bin/activate. There we go. There are a couple of options to create environment variables. My preferred one is a package called environ. Let's install it now with pip install Django-environ, like that, and enter. Then I go to my settings.py file in the core folder, and here on top I import now this package. So from environ import env. Now we initialize this env class to create our object, like that. Now we add a function to read from the .env file. We write env.read_env. So with this method here, we can read from the env file. Let's create this file now. So within the core folder, just next to the settings.py file, we create a new file and we call it .env. And here we create now our first variable. And first I will declare which environment this is. So my first variable is environment equals development. So locally I assign this value to development and remotely on the server to production. Important to notice here is that we write environment variables without any spaces in between. Alright, save this file. Now back to our settings file. And here we create now the environment variable. Environment equals env environment, like that. So this key here corresponds to our name here. Alright, we can also add a default value here, like production. Okay, let's set the debug mode now depending on the environment. So here we have debug true, but this should only be true in development, never in production. So let's add here a if-else statement. If the environment is equal to development, we have debug equals to true, else debug is false. So switching now between true and false depending on the environment. Great. Another place where we'll use environment variables are the secret key and the encryption key, because we don't want to expose this information on GitHub. So we can copy this string here without the quotes. And in this file we create a variable, for example, secret key, like that, equals, no spaces here, and paste the string. Okay, save this file. Now let's copy the variable name and add it in here with env and in parentheses and in quotes secret key, like that. Let's do the same now with our encryption key. So we copy the string, just the content within the quotes. We create a new variable, encrypt key equals, and now the string. Save this file. Again, I'm copying here the name and add it in here. env encrypt key. Okay, save this file. That's basically it. If you want to store sensitive data in an even more secure location, then you could use secrets, which are typically stored securely in a separate service, like for example AWS Secrets Manager or Azure Key Vault. Next, I'm gonna make also my admin login page more secure. At the moment, our admin login sits at the /admin path. As this is the default, it makes it less secure. Let's change this to a fake login page now and have the real login at a different path. So first I will change the admin login URL. So I go to my urls.py file. Here we have the admin path. We should use here a different path to have it unique for our application. I'm giving this path, for example, the name the boss. This is one step. I will also include this name in our username blacklist to make sure nobody's using this username. So in the settings.py file, at the bottom we have the username blacklist, and I just add here this name as well, the boss. Alright, save this file. And now to create the fake login page, I'm adding a package called Django admin honeypot. So if you Google it, so Django admin honeypot, and we're looking for a package which was updated 2021. So updated 2021, this one here. So I'm copying the pip install command and pip install it here. All right. We also have to add the admin honeypot to our installed apps. Let's do that now. So in our installed apps, we add it in here, like that. Don't forget the comma. Okay. And we also have to add it in our URLs patterns. So we copy this line here. I save the settings.py file, go to my urls.py, and add this line on top. All right. Save this file. Now we have to migrate to the server, because this package will create a table in our database to record all the failed login attempts on this page. So let's write here python manage.py migrate. And let's check it out now. So we start up the server, python manage.py run server. All right, let's go to the website. Let's go to our local host. So localhost:8000. So if I try to log in with /admin, this is now our fake login page. So this will not work, but it recorded now a failed login in the database. Let's check it out. The real login path is now the boss. And here we say admin and the password. There we go. And as we can see here, it created a admin honeypot section with a login attempts table. And I can see here all the attempts, and also stores the IP address. Okay, great. This is all for today. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll look into installing Tailwind CSS locally. We will see how we can create a CSS file with only the classes we need in our project, and also how to minify the style sheet for production. I hope to see you there. Bye bye for now.